Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Board of Supervisors meeting for Thursday, April 20th to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have one executive session from 6:15 this evening to about 6:55. The reasons were potential litigation on an application made to the zoning hearing board and personnel and particular benefits. Past meeting minutes for approval, gentlemen. You guys have any changes?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Action items. Tom, do you want to talk about the petition for the rezoning?
Yes, before the board this evening is a petition to rezone two and a portion of the third property at the intersection of North Reading and Wabash. As the board will recall, there was previous discussion from the property owner regarding a change of zoning on two properties from general commercial to light industrial, and a small portion of the third property from suburban residential to limited industrial. Before the board this evening is a draft motion from the council for the property owner. If this is agreeable to the board would authorize that the application be deferred out, and the next step in the process would be the application to be reviewed by the Township Planning Commission and the County Planning Commission. And with those reviews in hand, the applicant would then come back for the board.
Any comments from you?
Question.
Yes, sir. Name, please.
Go back. When do you hold the hearing, Tony?
That's to be determined. There's no schedule for the hearing.
You left that out. You're skipping through it like this on man, man, thank you, man.
No.
Okay. All right.
There is no schedule required in the law, like a land development application. There is no clock on that side of it.
But when you change zones, there is a public hearing.
There's absolutely a public hearing subject to public notice.
Right.
Yes, got anything?
No, they were here before us already. I can see if there's any changes.
I'd like to make a motion to accept and refer out for review the petition to rezone certain properties on North Reading Road and Wabash Road submitted by Cherry Place Properties LP.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next one would be for the Mount Zion Baptist Church, a motion to accept the waiver of the review period. Go ahead.
The applicant is agreeable to waiving the 90-day review period. At this time, the application must be acted on before April 30th.
Gentlemen, got anything on that?
No, that's pretty standard. I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept the waiver of the review period for Mount Zion Baptist Church. Yeah, land development 2018-01.
I'll second that. Motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries. Department reports. Chief, you got anything?
Yes, thank you. During the evening of March 5th, officers were dispatched to the 1300 block of Red Run Road for a burglary in progress. A male broke into the home and threatened the occupants with a baseball bat while damaging the property inside. He was arrested, charged with burglary and related charges, and remanded to Lancaster County Prison. During the month of March, a Reading city man was charged with simple assault and related charges after officers investigated an incident at the Acme Distribution Center, 500 South Mining Creek Road. The male attacked his immediate supervisor, punching him several times in the back of the head, and the supervisor was okay. He refused medical treatment. Officers located 3 subjects in East Cocalico Township and 3 subjects in Denver Borough. All 6 subjects had outstanding arrest warrants that were all turned over to the issuing authority. During the month of March, Officer Rachel Odenwald completed a week-long training for crime scene photography. She and Detective Van Alsdahl also completed a 2-day training course in sexual assault investigation. Officers issued 55 traffic citations in East Cocalico Township during the month of March, and also issued 104 warnings. Officers issued 23 traffic citations in Denver Borough and issued 25 warnings in Denver Borough. That concludes my report.
Sounds like you guys were busy.
It was busy.
Thank you. Any questions for the chief? Acting chief. Sorry. All right, thank you, sir. Nothing to report on finance, public works, or the building, zoning, SEO. MS4, Ken, do you have anything?
Nothing urgent to report tonight.
All right. Treasurer's report.
Okay, we have several listed bills. We have a general fund bank account list of bills in the amount of $39,485.33 for the week of April 13th of 2023. Is there any questions there? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
The next one, general fund bank account list of bills in the amount of $5,395.27 for the week of April 20th of 2023. Any questions there? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that. Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next one, the hydrant fund bank account list of bills in the amount of $16,425 for the period of April 7th to April 19th of 2023. I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that. Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
And lastly, an electronic list of bills in the amount of $89,709.47 for payroll period of April 12th, 2023, for the pay period of March 26th through April 8th of 2023. I make a motion to approve there.
I'll second that. Motion and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's the report for tonight.
Thank you, sir. Gentlemen, anything more information?
Last meeting, I talked about avian flu update in the township and surrounding areas. As of last evening, there were no new positive cases of the avian flu in northeast Lancaster County, and all quarantine areas were lifted as of last night. So everybody is free to go, but keep the biosecurity in place, please. That's all I have with that.
I'll just make one quick comment, informational. We did have the pension committee meeting. That was on Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning. The one thing that it, just for members of the public that were not there, pension plan as of now remains still fully funded. We're at 92.5% funded. We're currently watching our portfolio and our investment strategy very, very carefully. So that meeting went well, and we continue to watch that very, very closely, especially considering the dynamics in the market right now, as well as the continued dynamics with the banking industry right now. Probably where most of my time is being devoted.
Thank you, sir. New business?
Yeah, let me bring up one thing on new business. We received a memo from Tommy, our township manager. Tommy, it was a confidential memo. And there's an item in here that I don't believe should be a confidential item. There's an item in here related to the township insurance for the volunteer fire companies and apparatus. Basically, the township insures the fire company's vehicles. We have done that for many, many, many years. Okay. And there's now a request or recommendation, or however we word it, that we go ahead and take a look at not doing this in the future. Number one, first thing is, I just disagree that this should have been in a confidential memo, number one. Especially labeled under personnel and potential litigation. That's just wrong. So this is an item that we should be discussing in public. This is an item we should be debating in public quite a bit. So that's the item I want to bring up.
And just to clarify, I didn't make a recommendation to the board. I noted that any municipality insuring a vehicle it does not own and does not control is very different, to say the least. Very different. From a risk management perspective, it's unheard of in my 30 years of local government, and for good reason. You don't own the vehicle, you don't control the vehicle, but you're insuring the vehicle. And the fire apparatus are the most valuable equipment that we insure. If there's an accident, catastrophic loss, that is going to be placed on the township's loss experience for years. The options I set forth to the board are this. If you wish to continue as is and continue to pay for coverage, that is a board decision. But we have to do more by way of checking driver backgrounds. Right now, we don't do that in-house. It's not done. It's not done in-house. It's done by the insurance company, we're told, and we don't know what reviews are being done, if they're being done at all. The second option is to have the fire companies insure their own vehicles and reimburse the fire companies for that expense. The fire companies would be put in the very same financial position tomorrow as they are today, meaning they're not paying for the insurance on their vehicles, and the taxpayers of this township would be better protected in that arrangement in case there is an accident. It's a win-win scenario in that regard. That was what was in the memo. Thank you.
Well, I can't help but see where Tommy's going with that, with your point of view. You know, all the township vehicles, whether they're police cars, public works trucks, They all come under our employee manual. Our employees are checked out by us. This is a different situation with each company. Each company's separate. They're their own bosses. They decide who drives, who doesn't. And, I see it as a liability for us, the way it is.
That's not correct, Jeff. We provide information to whoever in this township, and it's verified. We get no say in whether they drive or not. It comes from somebody here that says they can drive. Whether it's your insurance carrier, your manager, the police department, we provide that to them and they say yes or no. So that's an incorrect statement.
It would be the insurance carrier.
Whoever it is, we do not say they drive or don't drive. It comes from somebody in here.
And
Just to clarify, the first option is to continue as is.
That's correct,
But
but just
to
make
do-
sure you get the proper information out for the
I
decision.
did, but the driver histories have to be reviewed by a township employee and not the insurance company. I don't know what the insurance company is reviewing. I don't know if they're reviewing, but it's required that we do the check if it's gonna stay on our
What
policy.
happens to the name when we give it to your township person, office personnel? That's what we do, and then we get it back. We don't know what you do with
For the
it.
meeting minutes, can you state your name?
Chad Weaver, Stevens Fire Company.
Everyone's just talking and it's getting out of order, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest, if we're gonna discuss it, what happens? We give it to a township personnel, and they give us a yes or no answer. So we don't know what you guys do with that. So to sit here and say
Understood.
that we don't have that say.
Understood, and the process would stay the same. You would give it to us, but instead of the township giving it to somebody else to check, the check would be done in-house.
That's an internal move on your end.
Exactly.
Discussion.
It's the same process, but a different person reviewing the piece of paper.
And it's obvious, new township manager brings his ideas, then we,
Well, yeah, I know, but I do believe, without going back and confirming in each municipality, this is a standard in Lancaster County. Am I correct on that? Others, the municipality pays for
I
everything.
can't speak now, but.
Jeff, who doesn't? Because I will confirm when you say it.
We'll talk to Ryan Holtz and Shannon,
I will. West Cocalico, I'll have them on.
please.
yes, sir.
I got a question, Doug.
Name, please.
Which one of you three is qualified to review insurance claims and state whether a driver is capable of doing it?
That's
Well, what-
that's the point.
And what? well,
That's
yeah,
the point. No, that's the point.
Which I asked you a question,
And
and you didn't
and I'm
answer.
agreeing with you. That is the
Then
point.
say that.
I'm not. I don't think anybody here is.
I don't see anybody up there as
I don't
qualified.
think anybody here is.
There's
There are
we
three
used to-
individual companies, right? Three individual companies. And they should be getting their own insurance, because we have no control over it. I don't want to tell them who's capable or not. I don't want to do that. It's not my job. You're right. You're right. It's not my job.
And I remember years ago when I was here, we would send it down to the police. And they would do background checks on those guys, because they have the tools that we don't have up here. Nobody up here has the tools they do, or access to them. And if you do, you should.
So what is the problem with letting them get their own insurance and us reimbursing it?
Price.
Yeah.
Price,
Right.
absolutely.
How do you know?
It's so much cheaper because you're getting it on a majority of so many vehicles in the fleet.
You
Absolutely.
don't know till you've checked.
I can guarantee that. It goes in quantity. How many police cars do you have? How many township cars do you have? Chad Weaver, by the way.
Thank you.
Check and we'll talk about it
We
again.
ain't gonna check nothing until we get it directed from you guys. You guys provide that insurance until you put something in writing and tell us we have to. We're not gonna. And I mean, if you think that you don't get a bulk discount for the amount of vehicles you have, you're crazy. You're short, if you're gonna reimburse us, which is great, it's gonna cost you more. Then you're not being fiscally responsible. Because I guarantee you, we're gonna put replacement costs on it, then it's gonna cost you.
Yes, sir.
Donnie, so just so you're aware, about 2 years ago, I got someone from the township contacted me about one of our guys who works in Philadelphia, and he was involved with a couple accidents and traffic incidents, and the township contacted me and made me and him come in and sign paperwork that he was no longer driving our apparatus as long as the township was that the township insured our vehicles. So someone at the township is doing checking, and if you look at your file, you can find out that paperwork, would be able to come in and sign it. So when you say no one's doing the checking, that's a lie.
Well, maybe just for that particular incident. we'll have to check into that.
Chad Weaver, I hope you do make us get it, because we're gonna get much better insurance than what you guys get, and I hope it's paid for, because it's gonna go up. We carry extra insurance through the Relief Association, all affordable, and click it on there, you guys are just insuring the vehicle itself. So you're making this bigger and worse than what it actually is. So I guarantee you, when you put it back on our plate, we're putting replacement costs over, guaranteed. But we're not gonna be out the millions of dollars that you're afraid of losing. Why would we want that? You guys sit here and say you're all from fire companies, but here you are topping us down again, the lowest guy on the pole. Doesn't make sense. So, you know, 150,000 a year doesn't work to, and then chop us some more. Sorry, Jeff.
Yes, ma'am.
Lorraine Cole, back to the issue about the coming in to sign the paperwork, dealing with 3 companies, fleets and trucks. I get called from the insurance company, and then it's my responsibility to call people and have them come in. So it still comes from the insurance company, not from the township.
Yeah, we don't know who does it, honestly, but we just provide it.
Any other questions?
Just one more comment, Doug Mack. Someone up there that's been going back and forth. I think it was Jeff. You said about police cars and other vehicles. So there's other vehicles that you would drive out of here when you're park your car here and then jump in a township car?
No,
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
I'm not picking on you, I'm just saying.
no, that
Anyway.
doesn't happen. We got rid of the township car.
Okay, but if you're on township business and you're involved in an accident, whose insurance is it?
Falls under our insurance.
Primary coverage is under personal insurance, and then it segregates under the township.
So it's your own, if I'm driving, if I'm a township supervisor, and I'm going to a meeting, and I get involved in an accident, heaven forbid there's fatality, I'm gonna get sued personally, and then if I don't have enough money, you'll pay the difference? Is that, I'm just asking, I mean, you know, there's a lot here to unpack.
Yeah, again, the primary, because I remember looking into that a couple of years ago carefully. The primary coverage is on the individual, and then it segregates over to the municipality.
So I guess that begs the question, you ought to have a car out here when you guys go to meetings, and you go to PSATs. I'm assuming you either go all together or you drive your own car, and you get up there and get in an accident, you're on the hook, and we're gonna pay the difference. Be a taxpayer, I have nothing to do with it.
Just for my understanding and clarification, because I don't know this was always the case. How long have we been paying for the insurance on the vehicles?
I was there 24 years and we did it. That's how they did it when I was there. Latest came in a long time. And I understand what you're saying, but Chad's right. You don't want to admit it, but you're gonna get a break, and he'll find out, and you would find out too. If they go out as an individual fire company to insure 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of stuff, the costs are gonna be through the roof. When you put it under the blanket, the umbrella of the township, they get a better rate. So they're gonna win in the end if you do this. We're gonna lose, because you're gonna wind up paying more money, and they're gonna get better coverage.
So I was Donnie Stover. The thing is, if you look around all the other municipalities around us, you guys are, Eastern California's away already cheap on fire protection. You guys don't give us hardly any money. We appreciate the 35,000, but when you see Denver giving them 80-some thousand, and we're 3-4 times the size, that's, you know, and there's nothing against the police department, but it seems like every time the police department wants something, they come up here to these meetings and say, we want this, and boom, we got to go out and sell fundraising and do other stuff and beg for money for us to do our stuff. And I think that's where you guys need to sit there and look, and now you're putting something else on our plate. The volunteers, not the paid people, we're putting on the volunteers. You guys need to look at that, because you guys are going to play scot-free on fire protection in this township. We're saving this township millions of dollars.
Just to clarify, you said we're cheap. What are you thinking is a good number?
Well, look, just look
At the 35,000, I'm learning right now.
Well, I'm just looking at, we've been getting 35,000 for like the last 5 or 6 years. Cost of everything's going up, and we're sitting there at $35,000 each for each company. I think there's what, a 3% or 5% cost of living expenses just got approved for everything else this year. Why didn't we get that same cost to us? That other 5% to the fire companies.
Chief, when I came on board, that was one of the first things I looked at. And you had been paid, I think it was 20, or the donations that had gone to each company was, I believe, $20,000 or $25,000. And I looked at that, and that was the same donation back about 14 or 15 years off the top of my head. I can pull the data. And that is why Doug, myself, and Alan sat down, and I explained to them, we haven't even kept up with the rate of inflation for your companies, and that's why we went to from 25 to the 30 to the 35,000, just to get you caught up with the rate of inflation.
And this past year, we paid for all the fuel bills as well.
But,
Can't forget about that.
well, yeah, but if you wouldn't have had that money, it wouldn't have paid.
So we still paid.
I understand.
And I'm not-
And it wasn't all our money.
And I'm not disagreeing with you in terms of the costs. Costs are astronomical. And we're trying where we can.
So I did.
In the time that I've been here, we're trying where we can. We also paid,
Radios.
we paid for the radios. We also paid for the air packs when the new air packs came in. So there's a number of items that we stepped in on to help out.
You paid for the grant,
Right.
and some money towards the air pack.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the overall pack was over $300,000, you guys said.
Right, but it was, yeah, you're right, it was the grant writer,
Yes.
and then it was the delta, the difference on the air packs when they came in, because there was,
70-some thousand, 80-some.
yeah, there was something that wasn't covered on the grant yet.
And the things for the traffic lights, right?
Yeah, preemption.
Preemption.
But that helps even the police department, so that's not just for us.
But we stepped up.
Yes.
When you requested it, we stepped
We
up.
stepped
I
up.
understand that, but I think to dump this on the volunteer fire companies for the children's party is wrong.
It's for conversation right now. There's no decision being made. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Chad Weir, I just want to clarify that, because you said it's for conversation. If that was a private confidential matter, there was not going to be any discussion. If RC would have brought that up, that would have been a discussion you had in-house and that, so sit there and
No,
say
there
that's
was-
not.
I actually,
Chief, let me make that very,
yeah, I actually have it written in here to say it.
So I just want to make sure.
I'm gonna make this very, very clear. This came in on a confidential memo from Tommy, listed as personnel and potential litigation. I brought it up tonight. This was never discussed. I brought it up tonight because I disagree that this item, this was an error and an oversight probably, should have never been put on a memo, internal memo marked confidential personnel litigation.
And I appreciate
Because
that
this is
from
an
you, and
item-
also the
this
rest
is
of
an
the
item
office,
that
we have
must-
this on film, so.
And that's why I brought it up. This is an item that must be discussed in public.
Yeah, I know, you guys keep sidestepping the fire companies all the time, and it just, for years, we provided information, we provided dollar figures, and nobody wants to hear it. Now, all of a sudden, it's time to cut stuff, and you don't want to hear that side of it. I've sat here in meetings since 1990, whatever, providing statistics as far back with Harvey for what it would cost this township to fund a fire department. And we were talking hundreds of thousands of dollars back in the 90s already. So the information's here, we just choose not to look at it. It happened when we weren't here, so therefore it doesn't exist. It's kind of like our conversation last week or 2 weeks ago with the helicopter. It doesn't exist because it happened in 1987. I'm sorry, it's there, your forefathers did it. The information is here. We provide stuff to you guys on a regular basis. We provide our financials to you on a regular basis. We provide our call volume to you guys on a regular basis. I mean, we can come and color you a picture if you want, but you guys should be smart enough to put it together based off of what you see coming in and what your municipalities neighboring are doing. Manheim Township, who everybody keeps referencing, $12 to $15 million a year for fire protection. Are you ready for that? If you keep pushing at us, that's what's gonna happen. I don't want that. I don't wanna pay tax for that. I've been volunteering for 35 years, it needs to stay that way, as long as it can. Nobody wants that. So please think about what you're doing with the fire departments and be open with it, to all of us, the fire departments and the community. Because we are here for the community, believe it or not. Ultimately, that's what we want, we believe in this building. So please keep that open that way.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes, sir.
there's one more, I promise on this, I promise. I'm sitting here listening to this, and I'm trying to figure out how that comment fell under the guise of personnel and litigation for an executive session meeting. It doesn't meet the criteria of either one of them.
That was
There's five,
something different.
do you know what the 5 things are, Lorenzo?
Well, that was something different. It didn't fall under this.
That's what I heard him say up there,
Well, we met for other reasons. It wasn't specifically for this.
but you talked about it, right?
No, Doug, we did
No, we
not.
didn't.
Okay,
No, we did not.
No, we didn't.
my mistake, then, I misunderstood.
The question was asked to be very, very clear. Lorenzo referenced in that executive session the fire bullet, the fire note. And I said, that is not an executive session item. We will not discuss that down here. We'll discuss, I will bring it up upstairs.
Thank you.
And I said, if you don't, I will, and I have no trade here.
Yeah, that's actually, Lorenzo's right. My comment was, if you don't bring it up, I will. That has to be discussed upstairs.
You're welcome.
So that was never discussed.
Moving on to old business. Anything, gentlemen? Got anything? Got anything? Public comment, please state your name for the meeting minutes. Yes, sir.
Exactly. I just want to give a great big thank you to RC and Lorenzo. I wasn't at the last meeting, but I did watched it on YouTube. And I'm glad you guys stepped up and took the lead on 3 RVs at Stevens. Part of your job as a supervisor is the health, safety, and welfare of every citizen in this township. And anytime you can enhance that through EMS or whatever it is, then you need to do it. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I've had to use them, and I appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Yes, ma'am?
Sue Mackley, just regarding the TIF meeting the other night, and I am not here as a representative of that, I'm speaking on my own behalf, but your township manager did not attend, and I have never had that happen before, so I'm just wondering, is that a new procedure? Are you not going to be in attendance? Or how are you going to be handling that?
I was at the meeting before you arrived. I
It
had,
didn't start until I got.
I had another obligation that required my attention. I told the committee, if you need me, I'll be in my office 15 feet away. So I was here in the building, I was working, I was in my office.
You do realize you are the liaison between the committee?
We had a traffic engineer there,
Pardon?
the township traffic engineer was there, the township engineer was
He
there.
is not the liaison. You
I
are.
understood, yes. Had I not had another obligation, a township obligation, that I had to see to at that time, I'd be in the meeting. I was in my office. And I was here in my office long after everybody else left.
Well, that meeting was on the agenda for months. I was on since January. But
My
anyway,
my schedule is very fluid as a manager. I really don't know what I'm going to be doing every single day because different things happen. Something happened on that day that I had to see to.
Well, having said that, I'm not sure, but I'd like the supervisors maybe to think this over, I don't know. And again, I'm not speaking for the committee, but we had 3 paid people there. We paid Brent, John, and the attorney. Now, Brent and John do all the talking and tell us, what's what, but I'm not sure we need to be paying an attorney to be there. We don't vote on anything. I'm trying to help cut costs. Do we really need to have a paid attorney there at that meeting? If we have questions, we can forward the questions after the meeting.
Let me ask you a question. Who's responsible for making a decision in that meeting, and that, for that committee, on whether there's an attorney present or not? I don't know if it's us. As the board, who's responsible for having an attorney present at the TIF meetings?
I don't know, that's why I'm asking. I thought I'll put them,
And for the
all
public,
four of you are here at one time.
and for the public's knowledge, the TIF is the Traffic Impact Fee Committee. So, I don't know, Susie, that's why I'm asking.
All we do is basically review what's on the books.
So wouldn't that, so I guess what I'm saying is, wouldn't that, I mean, I would think the committee's empowered to make that decision on their own.
They have a chair and a vice chair and.
Yeah, I think you're empowered to make that decision on your own as the TIF committee,
Okay,
to whether you
okay,
have an attorney present or not.
okay.
It would probably make sense if the professionals expected some kind of decision to be made that maybe had legal ramifications, that they should say, okay, attorney here. And if that's not the case, it's just a review meeting,
But
attorney
that-
need not be there.
Right, that would be up to their committee.
Well, it are the professionals that see what the issues to be discussed are.
Right, or Tommy could make that call if he's there, right?
Tell us, Sheriff.
This is the first municipality in which I've worked that's had a traffic impact fee. It has a committee that meets on a regular basis. Every other municipality with the fee had the committee, but the committee would only meet at the time the plan was updated.
And that would make sense. That would make sense.
I don't,
When I first got on, we met once a year.
the municipalities in which I've worked, they haven't met unless there was an active update to the plan. Just looking over your agenda the other night, it was, a summary of traffic impact fee receipts received, what was outstanding, a list of payments paid out of the traffic impact fee, the Act 209 fund. It seemed more administrative than anything like planning, just updates on, where we were financially and where we were from plans that are making their way through the entitlement process.
In our January meeting, we actually requested that the financial to Judy, that Judy would come, because Judy could explain some of the numbers better for us.
Yeah.
But,
So I don't have any experience with the traffic impact fee committee meeting in between plan updates.
well, that is the role of the manager, to be the liaison, if there's anything to tell the supervisors. That's what your job would be. So I'll take it back to our committee, and if we decide we don't need legal counsel.
Can I
No,
interject?
Okay with you guys?
I believe that's up to you as a committee to
Okay.
decide.
Is that Bernadette on?
Yeah.
That's Bernadette, and I think maybe that's something we need to confirm as to whether or not that falls within the committee's decision-making, or look at the history of this and why a solicitor has been there at all the meetings. So I think before any final decision is made on that, you should check into the history on it.
Thank you, Bernadette. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
One more, Doug Macklin. This last meeting that was on YouTube, it was said that, the manager stated that since 2013, many board decisions to the township zoning map, there were many changes, and that you're gonna approve all previous rezoning and update the map. What does that mean? Were there hearings held for all those rezonings that you're gonna change the map, and what are you changing on the map? That's my question.
So the map that we had as our zoning map, the
Right.
map that was hanging in this room,
Correct.
was last revised in 2013.
I understand.
And so looking over the zoning map, we realized that a number of previously approved rezones by the board were done properly, but the map was never updated. So it's a two-step process. You approve the rezone, and then you update the map. The township was doing the first step, but not the second step.
And all those approvals had public hearings.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I don't remember,
Yeah.
For example, sir, in 2019, Stevens Road, when you were on the board, the zoning changed from residential to light duty commercial, or I mean,
Light
industrial, excuse me.
That wasn't on.
And that was,
I
that
wasn't on
changed,
that board.
the
You mean
change,
out of Grable?
the change,
And we were road.
yeah,
I wasn't on the board yet.
the change was not noted on the map.
But I wasn't on the board. 2019 was my last. But anyhow, okay, so everything is copacetic then.
Yeah.
One more question. I've heard that there's an advertisement for a highway department worker. Yes or no?
Highway department worker,
Yes,
like a laborer,
yes,
it's advertised. It's advertised on our website.
okay. When was that agreed to be done in what public meeting? I don't remember anything about that.
We talked about that multiple times when Brett was still here. Brett brought it up at a meeting or two. I don't have the exact date. And during budget season, actually, we talked about it in a budget meeting and just discussed that there would be a fourth employee.
Okay, so you put money in the budget,
Correct,
and a budget is nothing more than a blueprint.
correct.
It's not gospel. So did you use the budget as the mechanism to just go ahead and advertise it, even though you didn't talk about it in a public meeting? I mean, I can look around the room, I know none of these people, including myself, read the budget meeting. And if I would have been, it was, how many months ago? I wouldn't remember. We always used to, and I know I'm talking from old school, things are changing. We would put stuff in the budget, and then when it came time and we decided to do it, we would vote on it in a public meeting. We're gonna hear, chief would say, I'm gonna need 2 police officers next year, because I got guys looking down the road who are gonna retire. Okay, we'll plug their numbers in, and then when it comes time, bring it up, and we'll talk about it in public. I'm just simply saying, I do not remember, and if I'm wrong, I'll stand corrected, but I'd like to know when that board up there voted to hire another person in public meeting.
You need to advertise.
You're gonna hire him, or you're just wasting money advertising?
I think it's been on the website.
You're not answering the question. It's a pretty simple question. So I take it that if it's in the budget, it doesn't need a motion. You guys already made the motion, and I listened to this last meeting, and I don't know how many times I heard the word transparent come out of people's mouths up there, and we don't do stuff behind closed doors. You're not setting a real good example, I'm sorry.
If
I
I
know I'm
may,
being nitpicky, but this is my money. Maybe you got more than I do and they wanna, whiz it away, but go ahead, but I'm not gonna let you get away with it.
if I may, my experience preparing budgets, the time to make decisions as to what we're going to spend our money on in the coming year is when the budget is considered. When the budget is approved by the board, that gives staff direction to implement the budget. If we need, during the course of the year, to purchase something or to begin a service that's not included in the budget, that goes back to the board. If we have to do something in the budget that meets the bidding thresholds, that goes back to the board. If it is not new, and if it doesn't require public bidding, there's no requirement for the board to give its approval to spend money twice. So for example, the budget included new basketball posts at Williamstown Park. That did not meet the bidding threshold. It was approved in the budget, so the money was there. That didn't come back to the board for a second round of discussion. So just to be clear, the law doesn't require another vote. Now, if a municipality wants to give double approvals to things, that's fine. But understand a municipality of our size makes a countless number of purchases every week that are budgeted expenses.
I understand that.
And with regards to a hire, when we do hire full-time employee, one of the conditions of the hire, among the many, is always ratification by the board. So while that's not required by law, my practice has always been, if we're hiring a new person, the board has final say as to the hire. And that's one of the conditions that's provided to an applicant.
And I understand that, Tommy, and you said it better than I would. It was your past practice. When I was here, past practice was for 24 years, we would put it in the budget, but before we acted on it, when the chief would come upstairs and say, hey, I've got 2 guys retiring in 6 months, we gotta start looking. We would put it to a public vote in a public meeting. So the people who pay the bills know what's going on.
And again, this full-time hire will come back to the board as a ratification
I
hire.
understand that, but it's after the fact. People don't even know what's going on around here.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, you don't. You're not transparent, and you are doing stuff behind closed doors.
I respectfully disagree, because
Well,
we
you
have
can disagree
we
all
have
the
public
time.
workshops on the budget, and
That's what I'm saying.
I haven't gone through a budgeting process here, but I can tell you what I've done in past years. We go line item by line item by line item,
Yes, I sat
breaking
on
down-
many of them,
and breaking down every expense.
and looking where you can,
And I
we don't
think-
need this, we do need this, yes.
And I think that's the
understand.
right way to do it, because now you're talking about expenses in the larger context. You're not breaking them out individually.
We did that here as well.
All 4 of you guys just keep pushing this thing around, and you still haven't answered why. When did you change this policy that you don't vote in public on these things? I want you to answer that, then I'm gonna ask you another question. So,
I don't think it's a policy, honestly,
it's always been.
because you say that, but
No, that's
it's
not
not a
what
policy.
But
just be- If that was the normal practice-
That's not what happened.
If that was normal practice for previous boards,
Yeah,
that doesn't mean it's normal practice for this board.
That's exactly
We
right.
are not breaking the law, however.
Did I say you are?
No, I'm saying, we're not breaking the law, however, but if that's how you like to see things done, you're saying that's your recommendation to this board, correct?
If you don't want to keep using the words transparent and not doing things behind closed doors, yes, I'd like to see you do that.
I appreciate that comment.
Let me add something here, just for clarity. Past practice was exactly as Mr. Mackley described, period. That past practice was put in place because of numerous residents who came to meetings and claimed they were unaware of what was going on. And they did not make the meetings. The budget meetings are very long, they're very drawn out. We have a number of workshops that happen during the day. So what we did, and there's so much information in those budgets, I have to keep multiple spreadsheets of exactly what every single line item is and how that line item is applied. So what was done in past practice that I learned from Doug and Alan and Jeff, we did that when you came on board, was anything that was budgeted, especially when it came to hires, we did vote to move forward with advertising for a hire. So the public was well aware of it. And then we did vote whether we ratified to hire the individual or not, so the public, so it was very, very, very clear to the public what was going on.
So my question to both of you gentlemen, I'm the new one. Why did either of you not bring that up? It's a good question.
I brought that up with the township manager. Yes, I brought that up. I mentioned it.
No, I didn't.
I said I had two, I have one more. I don't promise I'll shut up. All right. What, you're talking about the budget, and it's a tool to make things happen for the future. So if it's in the budget, it's probably last year's budget. If it was in that budget, it should happen this year. What happened to the salt shed?
Never happened.
It's in the budget.
Would
You
never
never sat
happen.
up there and said you got ARPA money for it. And again, it's getting kicked down the road. You don't even talk about it anymore. This is exactly what I'm saying. You start these things, you never finish them, and I think the mentality is that we won't say anything and they'll soon forget about it. Well, I don't forget. I don't forget, whether you like it or not.
I'm
So
sorry.
you guys said, we're gonna do the salt shed because we're gonna use ARPA money that Uncle Joe gave us.
That's all.
Yeah, Mr. Mackley, let me open up one of the budget files. I don't remember if that was ARPA or not, but just give me a moment here.
It is.
It is, I know it is. He said it was.
It is.
Just mentioned there's so many line items.
Oh, I clearly remember that because we proposed that when I was still here and it got kicked down the road back then. And that's been 2.5 years and it's obviously not gonna happen again.
It was on there the
But
first year I was here.
now you have the federal government money to spend and you're still not gonna. I'm at a loss, I really am.
That's it.
Any other comments? Yes, sir.
Don Miller. I know we're talking about transparency, and Doug, you mentioned that you need to be public comment and keep transparent, but there's websites out there. The job posting has been out there for the new hire. Brett has been, I'd assume, conducting interviews because it's been posted for so long. So if you just come to the meeting and just look at YouTube and listen, you're living in a salt box. You need to go look at the website, look at the internet. It's out there.
And I'm not suggesting it isn't, but for those who, not everybody has computers, believe it or not, they don't. They don't have smartphones. And there's people that do not know what's going on in this township, and all I'm saying is, you want to be open, you want to be transparent. There's nothing wrong with saying, we're gonna hire a road guy. I make a motion, we hire a road guy. We have money in the budget, do I have a second? 30 seconds, it's all over. Now it's out there. For sure it's out there. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
That's what these meetings are designed to keep the public informed and for you guys to be discussing business here in front of the public. It's very quiet here. I look at these skeletal agendas and not much is said, boom, 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 and I'm like, man, everything must be done behind the scene, which.
The only time we meet behind closed doors is in an executive session. And they're announced at every meeting. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
I just wanted to know, if there is an update, what is going on with the road crew with Brett's situation? Is there an acting road crew manager and, and what is going on with the hiring process of this person? Because someone I know that applied for it asked me if I knew what was going on. I didn't know if there was anything that going forward, because who knows how long he's gonna be in the condition he is.
Can't comment on that right now.
That's why I just didn't know. I didn't know if there's,
The person that applies should call the township manager, speak to HR, wherever they put their application. That's the best thing I can tell you at this time. Yes, sir.
Getting back to the zoning map,
Name, please.
Your name, please.
Kerry Hobbs. The zoning map, you said you were going to approve it?
It was approved at our last meeting.
And what does the zoning map include?
It's a map of all the zoning districts in the township. The zoning map shows which property are zoned which zoning districts.
I don't know if you recall, we had one, I think it was on this side,
The
a
colorful
whole bunch of
map.
different colors. What was outdated? There's other properties that became light industrial, commercial, or residential, and it wasn't up to date, so we're changing the colors where the rezonings happen.
We have that. Think of it as, Terry, we're not changing any zoning at all. All we're doing with that map is updating the map to properly reflect what has already been done since 2013, right, Tommy? Since 2013, that's all we're doing.
Well, did they hear anything?
Excuse me, whoever's on Zoom, please mute.
Or if you have something to say.
Or if you have something to say, please state your name. All right.
Does that, you understand?
Okay, when you're gonna approve everything that was on the map for 2013.
No, the zoning changes were approved throughout the last 10 years. We just didn't update the map to reflect the changes that were already made.
Changes as in what?
Zoning changes.
Changes to zoning for certain properties. Over the last 10 years, the board adopted a number of changes to the zoning for certain properties, but they didn't update the map.
Okay.
So the map's incorrect. The map's incorrect for all the things that have been done since 2018 in the past. We're just making it correct in terms of reflecting those changes.
Well, what about the things that were done incorrect?
No, there wasn't anything done incorrectly.
Yes, there was.
It was a procedural. We're talking about zoning properties. Properties were rezoned properly, but you have to update the map after you rezone the property, so there's a graphic representation of what properties are zoned which districts. So we had you should be updating the map every time you change zoning. We just stopped doing that at some point for some reason. So we just updated the map. So that when a resident looks at the map, they understand what their property is zoned.
Okay, my question was, what are you gonna do about the incorrect zoning of an item? You said you were gonna improve all the zoning. What about the incorrect of the zoning?
Yeah, the board adopted zoning revisions properly. They just needed to update the map, and that's what was done at our last meeting. So we have if you go on the website now, there's a new zoning map that correctly shows all of the approvals that were granted in the last 10 years.
Just wondering, why don't we sign in? Why don't we sign in anymore? Just asking.
No.
No, there's no sign in.
No. Now, the law requires the meeting minutes include the names of people who officially appear before the governing body and the topic of their comments. Law does not require a sign-in sheet, and it should not be provided because somebody should have the ability to walk in anonymously, sit and say nothing without having to register or log in.
Thank you. Good question. Yes, sir.
All right, couple questions,
Name, please.
based off of
Name,
Chad
please.
Weaver, off the last meeting. There was some discussions about finances and transparency with the fire companies. And I was curious to Jeff, I had to go back and look at the minutes or the meeting on YouTube. You had commented that you do not and have not received financials from the fire departments. Is that correct?
I have not received a 2022 from anybody. None of the companies.
Your statement was you've never seen that. I personally have provided to the board for years myself and the board.
No, in past years, in
You
2022.
need to specify that when you put your song and dance on for everybody.
Thank you.
It came across that you've never got.
Thank you, I will.
And then my next question based off of that, because it was the lawyer here, what do you guys need from us financially? If I understood it right, I don't have to provide that anymore, because all you need to do is know what we do with the donation you give us. Is that correct? Because that's all I'm gonna give you if that's what I require. And that's what he has stated. Is that correct?
You guys are not required to give us your financials.
Let me tell you exactly.
Bernadette, is that a question for Bernadette?
Bernadette,
Bernadette?
I'm here. I had to unmute. Yes.
did you hear the question?
They wanted to know what of their financial information they're required to provide to you. And I will tell you, I do not know the answer to that, but I will find out for you.
Could you please, and then put it in writing to all three of us?
I will, and then can be made public at the next meeting.
Absolutely, I appreciate that.
Yep, it'll be done.
And then the last thing I want to make is a comment.
Thank you, Bernadette.
You're welcome.
The helicopter thing that has been discussed numerous, we have a member that used that the other day, and it actually saved his life. The 45-minute time that was saved by having that chopper there has at this point in time saved his life. He had a major stroke at his residence, and with that chopper sitting there, got into New York and into surgery. At this point in time, he is still with us. So keep that in your memory. You never know who's going to use that. It is a viable thing. It's been used by some people in this room and many, many people in the community. It is a good thing. And ultimately, we went with that because it is for the community. It is a good case. So just wanted to cast that out.
Bernadette, it's RC, if I may, and I think I can answer the chief's question. Let me read you section 1803. of the
Okay.
Fire Company's facility and training. It states, the Board of Supervisors may appropriate monies for the use of the township or to fire companies allocated in the township for the operation and maintenance of fire companies, for the purchase and the maintenance of fire apparatus, for the construction, repair, and maintenance of the fire company houses, for training of fire company personnel, and as set forth in this section, for fire training schools or centers in order to secure the fire protection for the inhabitants of the townships. The fire companies shall submit to the Board of Supervisors an annual report of the use of the appropriated monies for each completed year of the township before any further payments may be made to the fire companies for the current year. The Board of Supervisors may by ordinance make rules and regulations for the government of the fire companies which are located within the township and their officers. The Board of Supervisors may contract with or make grants to near or adjacent municipal corporations or volunteer fire companies therein for fire protection in the township. No volunteer fire company not in existence in the township before the effective date of this act may organize or operate unless the establishment or organization is approved by resolution of the Board of Supervisors. The Board of Supervisors may annually appropriate funds to fire companies located within the township for the training of its personnel and to lawfully organize an incorporated county or regional firemen's association for an entity pursuant to the Act of July 12, 1972, PL 762, and so on and so forth. And then it references all the loads. So to answer your question directly, Chief, the fire company shall submit to the Board of Supervisors an annual report of the use of the appropriated monies for each completed year of the township before any further payments may be made to the fire companies for the current year.
So that is at present, the $35,000 that you donate to each of us. That's the dollar figure for reason.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I do not need it in writing. It's
And that is
here.
why-
I just want to make sure it's heard.
And that is why when you have submitted financials, you have submitted P&Ls, profit and loss statements, and I believe I've also seen from balance sheets from your company.
Either mine or Nickel completely.
Yep, and so when we have received those, that's all included in there. It's an easy way to throw everything over the fence, it's there.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Stover, just to bring up to Mr. Mitchell's point there, I looked at my email, September 23rd, 2022, from Lisa. It asked for all our information to be submitted by October 15th, so we just did it in the fall. That's why you didn't get one for this year. Maybe it's better to have it that information comes to you January, February, after we complete our year. That's why you didn't get anything. But I have the email right here that Lisa sent, so, from September.
Is there any changes since then? In personnel,
As in,
drivers,
no, that's the financials, that's the one, the financials.
financials on the
The
fund?
financial that you said that you haven't got any yet this year, because Lisa only, we did it back in the fall.
Is that for 2021?
No, it's 2022. I don't know why it gets sent to the fall, but it says the township required by Act 7 of 2008 required blah, blah. As your agency has done in previous years, please make a letter email to me by October 15, 2022 for annual itemized list of all 2022 expenditures by Smokestown Fire Company. So you're asking us in September for all our expenditures for 2022 and give it by October. So
So it wasn't the whole year.
it's not the whole year, it's only,
Understood,
so.
thank you.
All right. Next Board of Supervisors meeting will be Thursday, May 4th at 7 PM at the Township Building. The meeting will also be broadcasted on Zoom for anyone that cannot attend. At this time, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second that. Motion is second. All in favor? Aye.
Sorry.
Motion carries. Thank you. Have a good evening.